Welcome to Rye on the Sussex coastline. Out there in the middle of the English Channel is a World War I wreck lying rusting on the bottom of the sea. Now it's home to one of Britain's most feared predators, the conger eel. Fortunately, I'm not going to go into battle with these fish alone. I've got one of Britain's most respected sea anglers, Mel Russ, who's going to show me the ropes. Well, Mel, I've heard about the reputation of these eels for being pretty violent creatures when you get them on board. What can they do?
Well, when they come out of the wreck and they come out of their natural habitat, they get really angry. So when you bring them on the boat, they go bananas. They go ch-ch-ch-ch, and they're trying to thrash around and do as much damage as they can.
Like what? What can they do?
Well, they can grab your toes and your fingers and can be really nasty.
Have you ever heard of anybody being really properly bitten by them?
Yeah, there's this skipper down in Padstow in Cornwall who foolishly went to gaff a conger with no shoes on. It was in the summer, and it grabbed hold of his foot and bit his little toe right off.
Good grief. Oh. Now, where are we heading? We're going out into the channel now. We're going to a wreck. Why?
Well, conger naturally habitat wartime wrecks.
Yep.
So we're going out of Rye on the Costian to fish one of these wrecks to see if we can catch ourselves a conger.
And how big do they grow? What's your biggest conger?
Mine's 101. The biggest one I've ever had.
Yeah.
But commercial skippers have had them to over 200 pounds.
200?
200 pounds.
And how big is that?
Well, they'll be about 10, 11, 12 foot long, great big fat things.
Oh, I don't think I want one that big, Mel. But it's looking quite rough out there, so I think it's time to batten down the hatches and go in search of a giant conger. Brian, it looks like the mission control for the space shuttle in here. Presumably all this gadgetry and high technology must all be to do with positioning the boat.
It is. Nowadays there's relatively few fish to catch, so we have to have a lot more technology. It works on a GPS system. That's feeding information into the track plotter. It's driving the boat for us, as
and it's got the wrecks marked on there.
All the wrecks are not only marked, not just with a cross like they used to be, they're outlined, and we're positioning the boat within a couple of metres.
And how do you do that? I mean, what are you looking for?
Well, if I give you an idea with this chart, you see, this is the wreck laying on the seabed.
Yeah.
We're positioning the boat up tide of the wreck.
Yeah.
The idea being that our lines will drop down and hit the seabed some way still in front of the wreck.
Yeah.
We keep changing the bait so that we get a nice scent trail running back into the wreck, and we actually encourage the congers to come to us rather than dropping the baits right in the wreck. We used to do that, and the congers would just tear away. You'd up 10 and be lucky if you got one out of the wreck.
Okay, you're using the tide to take the smell of the bait to the fish in the wreck. They come out and we nab them.
That's exactly right.
Congers attract myths and legends of monstrous proportions, and looking into this tank now, it's clear to see why. They can grow up to 10 pounds a year and might reach weights of over 250 pounds. The conger is a really strong, muscular fish. With this continuous fin running from its pectorals all the way around the body, it can produce an awesome fight. The conger's primary hunting tool is an extraordinary sense of smell. Two large nostrils, or nares, at the front of the head are lined with thousands of sensory nerves. It can detect amino acids from its prey at levels as low as a few parts per trillion. The aura of evil of congers stems mainly from their powerful jaws. The bite can crush and pulp unwary prey. They have fearsome cutting teeth, and once they have hold of something, the jaws are almost impossible to separate. Lying in ambush in deep wrecks and rock marks, the conger really is a tough customer, and so rightfully deserves the utmost of respect.
Well, Mel, we've finished crashing through the waves to get out here now. We've anchored up over the wreck. It's just sitting off the stern there, isn't it? What are we going to use today? What baits are we going to use and what rigs?
We'll start off with a £50 outfit, £50 line, and a very, very simple running ledger rig.
But a very strong one, I see.
Extremely strong, yeah. And we've got 6 feet of very heavy, £300 commercial mono.
£300?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you need it so heavy?
Well, this is going down in a wreck, and these fish are very, very strong. And we've got a 10-0 forged hook on there. It's a bronzed hook, not a stainless steel hook, because if the fish escapes with that still in its mouth, within a few weeks that will have rusted away.
And the bait?
Well, we're going to use cuttle today, really smelly bait, and I'll just show you how to do that. If you've got a budgerigar, you'll know what this is. This is what they feed on. We'll take that out the bait.
Yeah.
And we're going to thread this. We're going to knit it on.
Right.
1.
In one way.
Pull it through. 2. Push it through again.
God, the stink that's coming off that as you pull that hook through. Ooh.
And one more time. In there. And we're ready to go and get ourselves a conger.
Come on then, let's give it a go. Well, we've got a seriously smelly cuttlefish to drop over the side and get our conger with. Now Mel, what's the bite likely to be like? Is it going to rip my hands off?
No, you'll be surprised. These fish are really gentle. They are big, they are mean, but they bite like a little kitten.
Really?
It's a little soft pluck. Okay?
Yeah.
When you get that, you just let a little bit of line out, just a few feet, and then knock it into gear and just lift into the fish and whine like hell, because they're one of the few fish that can actually swim backwards.
They can go in reverse.
They go in reverse. They got reverse gear and backwards they go, because they're going back into the lair where they live. Be very positive.
Yep.
Don't fluff around. You're not roach fishing on the canal. You know what I mean? Give it some real stick. And don't give it any quarter, because even when it's midway, it will suddenly wake up and try and go straight back down again.
Really?
You just hang on, don't reel, just hang on and hold it there.
Yeah.
And then when you feel you've got the better of it, start reeling in again.
Winding again, okay. Right, well, it's all going to be a...
You prepared for this?
I hope so.
Right, I'll go and get my rod now.
Okay, mate. Alright. Do you like the sound of that? It all sounds a bit animal stuff, doesn't it? A little kitten bite, followed by an almighty fight, by the sound of it.
Right.
You ready as well, Mel?
I'm going to come and join you.
So we heard in the first part of the programme, Mel, about the freshwater eel having a rather unusual life cycle. What about the conger eel? What's an average conger eel's life like?
In some ways it's very similar. The baby fish are born in the warm waters of the South Atlantic, and then the baby fish drift for 2 years before they actually reach the UK coast. They then take up residence in either a wreck or inshore. It could be around harbours and walls and breakwaters and piers. Okay. And they stay their whole life there.
Really?
Yeah.
Swimming with congers.
Yeah. That's an awesome fish. They're very strong, but they're not strong all the time. You seem to get the better of them, and then all of a sudden they decide they want to be boss, and then they take over and give you a real good scrap.
Right. Oh, hello, Mel. I think I've got one.
You in, are you?
Yeah.
Just drop the tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, yeah. I'll drop the rod. Oh, yes.
You mustn't let him get back into that wreck. That's the last. If he does that, you've lost him.
He's going for it, Mel.
He's going for it, is he?
Yep. Come here. You ain't going that way, matey boy.
Just hang on tight.
Oh yeah. Getting a bit of pattern now.
Yeah. So he's going to get down again.
Yeah, he's not happy. Well, folks, I've got the eel on the end, having to do 15 things at once. Wind line on, keep pumping the eel in, not get turfed overboard by the sea, and spread the line on the reel at the same time. Quite a high price. So, bit of a learning exercise, but when you're attached to a thing like this that every now and again just wakes up and says, I'm not coming up, it's quite exciting.
How does it feel? Does it feel a good one?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a feely thing, you know,
Yeah.
the rod will talk to you.
Yeah. Well, the only thing it's talking at me at the moment is that there's one flaming angry eel on the end. Well, Mel, he's had quite a few goes on his way up to get back again, flatten the rod. What's he doing? Is he swimming backwards then?
No, what he's trying to do is trying to turn his head so that he can go back down again.
Oh, there it is.
It's just below the surface, you can see it down there.
Oh, there he comes.
See him?
See the white?
Yeah.
Steady as you go. Oh, that's
There
a
it is. I can see it, folks. He's coming up.
Is this your first conger, Kev?
This is my first conger, Mel.
There you go. See how he's spinning?
Yeah.
How he's turning?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see how he's turning. He's still not happy, is he?
No. Trying to twist off the hook.
Oh. And here he comes. Got him! I need another back, please.
That's a nice eel for a first fish. Well done.
Well done.
Well, this is my first ever conger. It's the Mike Tyson of fish, no neck monster, an absolute thumping thing. It's a wonderful fighter, living down there in the wrecks, its domain, and it wants to get back in there when you hook it. But just because we've caught this fish, there's no need to kill it. You can catch the fish, appreciate it for its